Hello and welcome. My name is Michael Kölling. You're watching the first installment of The Joy of Code. The Joy of Code is a programming tutorial in blog and video form. And what I will do in this tutorial is tell you something about programming with Greenfoot in Java. So what it really is at the heart of things is a tutorial about object-oriented programming. We will be using an environment that is specialized for graphical programming called Greenfoot. It is specialized for programming games and simulations. I am on the development team for Greenfoot, and I will show you how to use it to learn programming. Today we will not do a lot of programming just yet. Today is an introductory session, so I will spend a bit of time first of all showing you what Greenfoot is and what you can do with it so that you know what to expect. And then we will go from there and pretty soon start to get you to do things yourself. But let's first have a look at Greenfoot. Okay, so let's look at what Greenfoot looks like and what it can do for you. I've got here Greenfoot open now and no project open, and I'll start by opening a few projects. So let's first look at let's start with a fat cat project. So Greenfoot is a programming environment. So here in my Greenfoot environment I can write programs and I can execute them. One thing I can do, for example, is here create a cat object and put it in here, and when I have a cat object I can then make it do things. I can tell it to eat and it will eat. I can also create more cats to do things, and I can tell it to walk a bit to the side. You can do that with all sorts of objects. So here if I open a different project, I have something that looks a bit different. This big area here is called the world, and I've got different kinds of objects here. Here I've got a wombat, and I can create a wombat and put it into the world, and I can create more of those. And then I can click on the wombat and I can see what I can do, and I can tell it to move, I can tell it to turn left, and then when I run this project, the wombats are just walking around my screen. So these are things that we can do. And let me just very quickly show you with a different project, with a little crab project, what it looks like to program in Greenfoot. Here I've got a crab this time. If I put the crab in the world and I run this, nothing happens at all. The reason nothing happens is that there's very little code in this project, so the crab has no instruction what to do. And then I write in here move to the crab and close this, compile that and put that in, and now if I click run, the crab moves. And I can go back to my crab instruction and say every time the crab moves it should actually move and turn a few degrees with every step as well. So if I try that out again now, create a new crab again, and now moving and turning causes it to run in a circle. So this is essentially what programming in Greenfoot looks like. And what you can then do with this, let me just close a few of these projects here, is when you get into some slightly more sophisticated projects, you can get something like this, where my objects are a spaceship and a few asteroids that I put in here. And if I run this, they fly around, and I can control this rocket with my keyboard. So I'm steering here now, and I can here fire at my asteroid. And you see quite clearly you can create quite playable interactive games with Greenfoot. The code that makes this all happen is Java code. So when we open any of these, there is a lot of code here that defines what this program does, in this case what the rocket does, how it behaves, and in this tutorial what I will teach you is how to write this kind of code to create examples like this. It doesn't have to be all games, so computer games are not the only kind of program you can create. Let's look at, for example, I wanted to show you a piano. I don't have that here. That is somewhere else. Let me see. There is another piano somewhere. Here's the piano. So there's a piano example that shows you that it's not only games that you can do. I can now press keys on my keyboard here, and by doing this I can play this piano. So anything, any example that you can think of that consists of two-dimensional graphics and sound, you can quite easily do in Greenfoot. Let's see what else we've got. Go back to this folder. The marbles example is another computer game, a very simple one, but quite nice looking. So if I run this example, what I do here is I can drag this to shoot with my gold marble and shoot all the grey ones off the board. So this is already a fairly sophisticated game. A little effort goes into writing something like this. That is enough of this, but this just to give you a sense of what kinds of things you can achieve with Greenfoot. I'll show you one more example that is not a game but a simulation, or a couple of simulations. Here is one, a physics simulation. So if I run this, you can see here that it simulates a wave on a string. So if I shake my blue bead around here, now if I don't have any damping on, it goes forever. I can also have that oscillate automatically, and then I can see how the wave propagates on a string. This is quite easy to program, actually. Another simulation I have here is an ant simulation. So here we see a couple of ant colonies. Let me just make that a bit smaller. If I run this, I have here two ant hills in my program, and I've got ants going around. They come out of the ant hill. They run around randomly until they run into some food source. If they find some food, they take some of it and carry it back, and then they leave these trails of pheromones on the ground for other ants to follow. So these are all kinds of programs that Greenfoot is very good at programming. So Greenfoot is pure Java. So if we look at the code here that defines how things work, this is standard Java code. So what you will be learning by using Greenfoot is you will learn how to program in standard Java, and you will learn some proper object-oriented programming techniques. In the context of Greenfoot, what Greenfoot gives you, it makes it very easy to get two-dimensional graphics on screen. So we can write Java programs that produce graphical output, and that is often quite good fun. Okay, so now you have seen what Greenfoot looks like and what it can do. You can also have a look around yourself. There is a website for Greenfoot and Greenfoot programs where other people have uploaded some of the Greenfoot scenarios they have made themselves. And you can look at that. You may want to spend a bit of time looking around and see what is there. To look at Greenfoot programs online, open a web browser and then go to greenfoot.org. That is the address of the main Greenfoot website. You find here the Greenfoot website. There is the software to download and some other information. If you enter the site itself, you enter the community section, and here you will find a lot of Greenfoot games and programs that other people have made. And so, for example, here if you look at any of these Greenfoot scenarios, you can then play them directly here in your web browser. So you can run things here and things start. So remember, greenfoot.org, go to the site and have a look through and see what you can do. Okay, now you should have some kind of an idea what we are aiming at, what we are hoping to achieve in a few weeks or a few months if you follow along with this video tutorial. Will this be easy? Well, it's not trivial, but it is not rocket science either. Getting something simple going, so just writing some little program that does a little bit, will be quite easy. You'll manage to do that in a few hours or a couple of days. To become a good programmer takes a bit more time. If someone else promises you something else, they're lying. There are books that, tell you they can teach you to become a programmer in 21 days or in 24 hours or even in 10 minutes. Well, everything that's worth doing is worth doing well. And to do it well, you will need some time. It will need a bit of effort and a bit of engagement, but it's good fun. So I hope you follow along. I hold it with Tom Hanks in this case. Have a look at this.
It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. The hard is what makes it great.
Yes, that's what it's like. It's the hard that makes it good. So you will need to invest a bit of time if you want to become a really good programmer, but it is really good fun and it is worth it. And I hope I see you back here for the next installment in a few days. Okay, see you then. Bye bye.